Good morning. It's about 6:30. We're in the car. We're packed up. I started loading up last night, so Slab City, here we come. Woohoo! Hello and welcome to DesertTrippin. Today is a very exciting day. I think I say that in the beginning of every video, but it really is exciting today because we are going back to the Slabs. That's right, we're going to Slab City, everybody. And it's been, gosh, I think it's probably been well over a year, maybe 2 years since we last visited. And I remember driving on this exact road here, and it was orange skies because there were forest fires all over California at the time. All hell was breaking loose, and we were escaping Babylon to go explore Slab City. I have not shot any new content for a while, so I'm very excited to be on the road heading into the desert today. Very excited that you're with me. You'll see what we wind up doing, okay? And if there's subsequent videos, you'll see those too. But only if you subscribe. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, that way you'll know when new videos get uploaded. And we'll see you on the other side. Okay, well, we're getting close to Palm Springs. We are definitely on the edge or in the middle of the Mojave Desert. But we got to get to Slab City, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, well, so there's an update I can give you now. We definitely are going to run into at least one of my slabber friends. Very interesting person. She lives like at the end of the world, at the end of that world. It's like if Slab City wasn't remote enough for some people, she lives on the outskirts of Slab City, and I believe she likes it there because it might be quieter and a little more tranquil, and she seems like a very chill person. Angie is her name, and she also has a YouTube channel that has been growing very nicely the last year or so, called My So-Called Slab Life, and we'll put a link in there. So that's my update for you, and we are heading south, I believe, on Grapefruit Road, and we'll be on this road for 50 miles. They have date palms growing and other types of trees. We're getting close to the Salton Sea, which is a whole thing unto itself. It's a whole story that we won't get into on this video. In a few minutes, you'll probably see me rolling into an island. I talked to Angie, and she said to call her from Nyland, and she'll start walking up the road, so I'll see where her camp is. And I love the direction she gave me. She said, turn left at the burned out car. That's something that you probably only hear in a few places in the world.
Expedition vehicle.
You are my first interview. You are the first person that's come here to interview me. Number one.
Well, the bigger you get on YouTube, the more people are going to want to know about you.
We could watch him right here if we knew exactly where he was at, because he said he had just crossed the railroad track, so you can see all the way. Oh,
I really enjoy your crochet.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We're total stalkers.
I started crocheting with wire because wire is so readily available out here. It's a party day. Come on, Weege. Get out of the road.
Party day at Angie's.
Wherever you can fit in.
What's going on, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Elvis Boy, Mark.
That's right. Right on. Joe Bowie.
Oh, nice to meet you, Joe.
Wherever. I'm gonna get out of the way. Go, 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 go.
And this is Joe Bowie with, what's your channel name?
DesertTrippin.
DesertTrippin.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure to meet you.
We got a full house today, guys. And the Polish people will be back next week, I guess. They had car trouble or something, so they'll be back on next Saturday.
Cool.
Because I guess they want to come to the range and stuff like that. So.
Well, if you're watching this
That'll be
video,
fun.
Boja droga, ja cię kocham.
No idea what you just said.
It's an old song in Polish.
Hey, we could do a three-way interview.
Yeah,
We could, man.
So we made it. We're here at Angie's camp. We brought some food and water in, and there's another YouTuber here who I've seen. It's kind of cool. I'll show you his truck. Channel's called Into the Sunset, and he does explorations and stuff too, and he's rolling some video, and I'm going to be rolling video, and we're going to be interviewing each other. It's going to be a free-for-all. Okay, so we're at Angie's camp, and she's going to take us all on a tour. This is kind of like, is this normal for you to have multiple YouTubers cruising around your pad?
I'm filming you, filming me.
Okay.
No, I've had people come visit me from YouTube, but I've never had anybody come out here and actually make a video of my place that ever got posted.
So there's Angie. What's your first name?
Into the sunset.
My name is Mark.
Mark.
I go by Elvis Boy.
What's your name?
Elisa.
Elisa. And I guess you guys are affiliated somehow?
He's my lovely partner.
Okay. Partner in
And
crime.
you are?
Joe Bowie. DesertTrippin, baby.
What? This is going to be funny to watch each video from a different perspective.
Look at all of us. Like, wow.
And we got pizza. What's up?
Doing the YouTube thing that makes
This is pretty cool.
Right. It's fun.
So this is the thing you had to dig out because the county.
Well, this is a major. So the water flows this way, right? And this is a major outflow. And so I didn't dig this out. I actually added dirt to it to make it as high up as it is because it tore through this area pretty severely.
And you know, when I was watching you when you were explaining the situation, how they just bulldozed all the dirt into these giant berms, and that's the escape route for the water to go back out to the ocean. So what happens when a wall of water comes here? They just make this a lake or something?
Well, I don't know yet. Well, the water is always going to flow from the highest ground to the lowest ground in the path of least resistance, right? So if you dam up every outflow, surprise, every time I think that I've lived out here long enough to be able to predict which way the water is going to hit me, nature's like, you're cute, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have no idea, but at least cutting that small little channel through should give it enough space to continue to cut. So the amount of sand that came through with the water filled in the hole, that's a 300-gallon cube, like the cube over there.
Next time this happens, have a little fishing pole in your place so you can.
Is this something you made?
Yeah. Those are from motors. So I took the copper out of the motors and then I bent them and painted them, and
Clutch plates?
where the copper is wrapped around on the inside of it.
Oh, cool.
And then they're everywhere. My mannequin.
Is that your line right there? Those tires
That was the original tire line, yeah.
that goes around. So
this is what happened with the tire line, right? I had back when I was with Waterboy and he was running from the cops. I had a cop pull up right over here to the fence that's over here. And I came outside. There's a video on his channel, I think, of this. And I was like, "Can I help you?" And the cop was like, "Nope, I'm just hanging out." And he was just sitting in his truck. And I said something about him being in my yard, and he goes, "Well, your yard's clearly right here because this is where the fence is." So after that encounter, I was like, "Oh, bet." So I made the fence.
Make the fence longer.
Yeah, before I made the tire line way around here. I've since collected all the tires that washed down, but you can see a lot of them are buried.
Well, This end of the slabs is so much more open, you know, like you get less challenges for neighbors or people encroaching.
There was a time where they told us, you know, you're not really slabbers and whatever. I don't even care. That's fine. I live on the canal. This is where I like to be. You know, they have more issues like an inner city does. We have more issues like in the country.
Mm-hmm. You push people closer together, they start to get a little crazier.
Yeah. Kind of sand. So
it's really
after the
cool
last
water
couple
pattern.
Windstorms that we've had, it's like this has been brushed clean.
Yeah, it looks like a paintbrush or something.
Yeah.
Like when you look at this, and then you look at like parts of Arizona, Monument Valley, it's the same thing. It's like, but on a small scale.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated with this thing because this is a big part of your story, you know?
The car?
Yeah, you came here in that, right?
Yeah, I did. And then we drove it and the oil pump failed and the motor seized up. And there it's been parked since maybe 2 or 3 months after I got here.
So you were coming here, that was your vehicle to get it.
Correct. I pulled my motorhome with a motorcycle behind the front seat, pulling the car on a car dolly when I got here.
Wait a minute, you pulled that?
I drove the motorhome pulling the car, and I had a motorcycle behind the steering wheel.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I had quit my job and I cashed out my 401k and I bought the RV. Me and my daughter were kind of moving around.
It's a big ass motorhome.
It is. We were looking for a more permanent place to settle down while we were living in the motorhome, and then she ended up moving, going to Florida for the summer and to stay with her dad. And then she didn't come back. She wanted to live with with her dad and my sister, and or between the two houses. And that's where she is now. She was I moved here when she was about 16. So I felt like she was old enough to make that choice.
You had it when you were like 9 or something? The puppy's name again?
Ouija.
Ouija?
Are you bored,
Ouija.
Ouija bored? Oh.
Let's see if I tried to teach her how to Spange. Let me see.
He's so cute.
Ouija. Sit. 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 Sit.
The butt's moving. Oh.
Spange. Spange. You want to do it, Spange? Spange. Yay, good girl. Good girl. I would try
I'm really nobody.
I'm really nobody. No, I'm really nobody.
She is somebody. She puts a whole lot more work into her days than most of us do. And
That's just a different kind of work, but thank you.
It sure
Come
is.
back anytime.
Thank you, Angie. Take care.
You too.
And, remember, embrace that positivity. Get rid of that negativity in your life. Please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to Angie's channel and Bowie's channel. Joe Bowie Desert Trippin'. And remember, life's too short for anything but joy. And we'll see you next time.
I'm going to go. Maybe that'll give me a sound thing to line them up on.
Okay.
We're at Angie's camp in Slab City. And they're very nice to allow Babylonians like me to come here once in a while and hang out. And Angie has a channel called My So-Called Slab Life, which is blowing up modestly, I'd say. You know, it's growing and enjoying some solid growth. And it's because Angie is a real straight shooter and she talks from the heart and she's no bullshit. So Angie, thanks for having me over here.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
But I know you were a nurse. An RN, an LVN. What kind of nurse were you?
I was an RN.
RN, that's like the high level nurse, right?
It's well, I mean, so there's I mean, I don't know how to answer that. There's different types of nurses, and RN is to me it's not. I don't know how to answer that. That's so funny.
Registered nurse.
LVNs tend to work in more nursing home
Yeah.
type situations, right? When I got my degree as an RN, they weren't allowing RNs to work in the hospital anymore. They were phasing them out.
What I'm leading up to is, how did you go from registered nurse in Babylon to living free, you know, off the grid out here in Slab City?
So I have 4 years of school, right? 2 to work as a nurse and then 2 more for my bachelor's degree. I was putting all of my efforts into doing what I thought I was supposed to. I had a child at 17 and I was trying to provide this house for her, and not being able, even though I was working this job, I wasn't able to really get ahead. Plus the job, I liked the job. I liked working with the people, but working with the hospital administration was really difficult when they purposefully don't give you enough staff to be able to do your job well,
Right.
because they are cutting corners and trying to save money. After 10 years, I realized that the hospital is a business.
Yeah.
They don't care about your health, and they exploit the empathetic caregivers that are taking care of these patients.
Yeah,
You
not-
want us to do more with less. You know what? It got to be where I felt like I wasn't able to operate safely in that position anymore.
Yeah.
In California, there are ratios where it's 1 nurse to 4 patients. If it's critical care, it's 1 nurse to 2 patients. I've coded patients. I've had very sick patients that were dying in hallway beds or still on the EMS stretcher. Ground.
And it's sickening because the medical industry in this country, when you get through all the red tape, the corporate level, the CEOs, the board directors, all those people, the investors that are pulling profits out,
Right.
lining their own pockets and not giving the resources to the people who do the job.
But then at the end of the day, right, it's you. I'm taking care of somebody's mother, somebody's grandmother, somebody's wife, somebody's child. A lot of it I worked in pediatrics. And then you see these families that are in a period of suffering because somebody is sick within this family, and you've spent very minimal time with them because you've been so busy with the tasks that you've had to be able to maintain your entire assignment. Since this is something I've wanted to talk about on my channel for a long time, but I haven't found the words for it yet.
But
So
it built up inside of you,
Yeah.
right? This frustration, like you're torn, like you're an angel, you're helping people, you're taking care of them. You might be the last person they see when they're alive, but yet your hands are tied. So how do you walk away from that? It's got to be mixed feelings, right?
It was. When I very first moved out here, my daughter had gone to live with her dad in Florida. For the first time in my life, I found myself without responsibility. Like, I had a little bit of money saved up. I was looking at getting a tax return when tax season came. So I quit my job, and I was going to just take a little bit of time off and come stay for a little while.
In Slabs?
In Slabs.
Okay.
And then when
How did you hear about it? How did you know that you wanted to come here?
I had been living in the RV for a little over a year at that point.
Okay, so
and so I had been on
off-grid
the like the Facebook pages for RV life and van life and things like that. I had actually taken the RV to the RTR that's going on right now in Quartzsite, and I met Zig.
Okay.
Who I don't know if he's the Nomadic Zig on
Nomadic
YouTube.
Zig,
And he
awesome
asked
channel.
if I was going to the Slabs, and I didn't know what the Slabs was, so I got out my phone and I looked it up, and I just fell in love with this place. So I ran over to my boyfriend, please, here we go.
Zig was MIA for a little while, but I noticed he's starting to pop back up a little more.
Yeah.
I was glad to see him the other day.
Yeah.
What's up, Zig?
Zig is the reason I'm in Slab City.
Yeah.
Kind of. He planted the bug in my ear.
Mm-hmm.
We came after the RTR. We came and we stayed one night at the Ponderosa, and I fell in love with this place. And when I went back to nursing and back to my life.
Was that back in Florida?
No, this was here. I've been
You
in
had a
California.
job in-
Yeah, I've been in California for quite a while now.
Okay.
I think since like 2012.
So you were a nurse, working, trying to make the world better, one person at a time. Hands are tied, door opens, you see another
Finally
life.
can afford a house. Finally could afford that house, and I didn't want to be house poor. My child was already grown,
So you bought the...
so I bought the RV.
Uh-huh.
I kind of freaked out. I had a
That's,
midlife crisis.
that's more like a rolling apartment building or something.
It is. It's got a slide.
The big question I have is, what's the adjustment? Like you enjoyed it and you knew it wasn't going to be easy and it was a learning thing. First year freaking out a little bit, but still feeling good, or how was that?
I don't think I ever really freaked out. I fell in love with this place. I'd come out here and I'd visited a couple times before I actually made the move. And visiting is not going to prepare you for people. I love it when people are like, oh, I used to go visit so-and-so who lived in the desert over the summer. Well, that's cute. They had air conditioning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't understand it until you're in it, and it's relentless.
You're a survivor.
You know what I mean? Oh, you've been, you visited somewhere and it was hot for a while. That's great. But like when you're on month 3 of it, it's something totally different. But I don't know. Moving out here made me feel so empowered.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, I got into drugs a little bit when I first got here, and so I was coming off the high from that, and I just loved it out here.
Yeah.
I loved it out here.
So you got sober?
I've been sober since March.
Okay. Good for you.
Since March. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's a little healthier and better for you.
It's a lot healthier. Don't do drugs. It's
Yeah.
a bad idea.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
I mean, I'd be a hypocrite if I, like when my kid was becoming a teenager, you know, I partied when I was a kid. I just wanted him to make better choices.
You know, I just I partied just a little too hard for a little too long. It got out of control, and we got that under control.
If it's a lesson, you know, sometimes it takes you a little bit to learn the lesson, and then whatever it took to get you there was worth it. So, plus, I gotta say, you know, I was crazier back in the day, and I've done much worse things. And those are great stories and experiences, and I wouldn't have given them up, you know, because it kind of makes you who you are now.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I just hope that people that experiment and play around recreationally, that they don't go so far down the rabbit hole that it consumes them. The sad thing is with drugs, if people can't catch themselves and they go down that rabbit hole, again, very depressing subject matter, but it is like there's too many people on the planet. You know, we're overpopulating and using up all the resources and throwing trash everywhere. You know, everything is a disposable, you know, planned obsolescence. So we're fucking this planet over. So,
but it's okay because we're just gonna find another planet, right?
And fuck that over.
We're just gonna move all of our trash and we're gonna go populate Mars. Wouldn't it be easier to invest time into this planet and fixing the problems on this planet? We haven't even explored all of our oceans yet, but we're gonna go colonize Mars.
Let's see if we can think of something positive. Well,
be positive, be yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Sunsets out here. I notice you've been into sunsets and beauty. And I also want to point out on a positive note that there's been a lot of videos about Slab City. I survived Slab City, the last lawless place, and people are sensationalizing. And yeah, there's some dangerous fucks out here, and you can get yourself fucked up if you're an asshole and you roll up on the wrong person. But I found, you know, in just a few years of poking around and meeting people, most of the people are really cool, you know, and if you're cool, other cool people kind of say, hey, they're cool. And then now there's a group of cool people that kind of have each other's back. So that community here is a really cool.
We have a great community.
Yeah.
I've heard Kaz say it, and I've heard Dot say it. If you're looking for trouble out here, what you seek out here is what you will find. So if you come out here and you're not respectful and you're looking for trouble and you know, but otherwise, welcome to our home. We say that a lot too.
And Dot, I have never met, but shout out to Dot, who's freaking awesome. She's friends with William Sandell.
You gotta go see Dot.
I gotta meet Dot. I'm coming back again before the end of the season. This is just like kind of a recon mission. And Kaz, shout out to you, brother. I know you're in Palm Springs right now because I was going to say hi to him. Pop in and say hi.
Okay.
He's doing his
driving.
Yeah.
What is it? The Uber Eats or whatever.
And I also wanted to say shout out to Mad Mac and Angie. I know you've been a good friend to him. And Mac and I haven't talked in a while, but I consider him a friend, and I really respect Mac because a lot of people talk a lot of shit and, you know, troll him. And for a long time he was fighting back, but he kind of said fuck it, and he's trying to turn over the positive leaf and not fall into that trap. And I think it's working for him.
Listen, me and Mac have we have a good gentleman's bet or a side competition going. So, like, there's some things that I would rather not talk about that I try to keep out of my mouth, but sometimes I get stuck in my own head, right? And he's got the same thing. So every time we catch the other one talking about the thing we're not supposed to talk about, no, it's more like a point.
Okay.
It's just like a public shaming.
Okay.
It's like, ooh, you got a point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we've been that's something that me and Mac have kind of been working on together.
Well, yeah. I gotta admit, I really don't like Mac. It's his two dogs that I love. They're so cool.
One of his dogs is really cool. One of his dogs is so mean.
Which one's mean?
Piglet hates me.
A Piglet is mean?
Piglet is really mean.
Well, Piglet is very possessive of him, right? Like wants to protect him and doesn't want anyone else talking to him, probably. I guess we should wrap it. You know, I'm gonna have to edit this down a little bit too. So Angie, thanks for the chat. And
thank you for coming.
Opening up your home. You're super cool. I'm glad I met you in person. And say hi to Mac for me. And we're going to end this interview and probably end this video. And I might poke around a little more in other parts of the slabs before I go home. But this is Joe Bowie. Over and out for now in 3, 2, 1. Well, okay, people, that was a very fun visit and interview with Angie and a bonus guest, Mark, from Into the Sunset. And I think I'm already subscribed to his channel, but if I'm not, I will subscribe later. It's wonderful running into other YouTubers out and about, and it was kind of funny how we were all recording everything. So I guess that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I might try shooting some more content on this trip, and if I do, you will be the first to know about it. But in order to know about it, you have to subscribe and hit that bell icon. And while you're at it, you should subscribe to Angie's channel, my so-called Slab Life, and Mark's channel, which is Into the Sunset on YouTube. So there you go. This is Joe Bowie, Desert Trippin', over and out in 3,